There we are. Good
Yeah.
morning, goddesses.
Good
Welcome to
morning.
Be
Good
Purposeful in the
morning.
Morning.
We are here, the trio. I see the sky.
Yes, we are here.
Isn't
Good
it nice?
morning. How you feeling today?
Today's pretty good for me.
Awesome.
You probably have
Ooh,
sunshine where you are.
I don't. But it's that kind of like stay at home and snuggle day.
it is, right?
Fortunately, I don't have much to do outdoors, so it's a nice stay inside day. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice. Keep it that way. I see Val.
there she is.
Val, the voice.
What are we calling ourselves today then?
Ah, what you call me?
I called you
What you call
goddess.
me? Did you
I
call
call,
me a name?
I called you goddess, so
I know, I love you.
I took
But
care of the
that's the
first
title.
one.
That's our topic today. I want to talk about the names that we call ourselves and the names that we allow other people to call us and that,
Mm.
that we've taken on. Hmm.
I have a
Well,
white friend in I have a white friend in Atlanta, and once I called her a white mother something bitch, something like that. So I take it back. I'm trying to atone, okay? So their names
repenting time.
there are names that we have called ourselves that we are sorry for. So can we also
Mm-hmm.
use this space for that kind of forgiveness? So
Please,
Mm-hmm.
I
absolutely,
just want to put it
Self
out there.
forgiveness.
I'm sorry.
absolutely.
Yes.
That's what it's about right now, right? That's what this is about. And
Do it.
uh, and people wonder why we call ourselves goddesses. Why I call you goddess.
Yeah.
I know and believe it to be true. That's why I do what I do and say what I say. Hmm.
She's like, you heard me. That's what I
Yeah.
call you.
It's what I said.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it helps to undo all the other things that we've been
So
called.
let's do it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I did an interview last night on The
Ooh.
Beautifuls with Ruby Garner. She
Ruby.
comes to
You're okay.
our Me Moments in the Morning. Definitely a goddess in her own right, just dedicated to evolving and being herself. And as we're on this journey, I want us to do that. But during the interview, what came out was some of the things that um, she had allowed other people to call her, right? And we've all done this. And when she was saying things like ugly,
Mm.
stupid, all of those names, that's not your name, baby. I need you to understand that. And so today I would like to just let's get started about talking about um the names that other people call us, and the names we've taken on and called ourselves. Can we forgive ourselves for those things and
Mm.
release them today?
Hmm.
Please,
Sounds
I
like a
like
good idea.
Let them
Amen.
go.
Yep.
yeah,
Let them
yeah,
go.
I like that.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So let me start with my little message and
Yes.
give you some time to marinate on your thoughts uh, about what you want to share this morning. I am reading in the Slay Bible, of course, and I am reading from page 29, 30, somewhere in there.
Somewhere.
Somewhere in there, somewhere in there. So think about a god, think about a goddess. Envision what she represents. What comes to your mind? For me, it is deity, femininity, divinity, strength, power, beauty, omnipotence, unfuckwittable. That word that make
Mm-hmm.
some of y'all cringe, but it's unfuckwittable.
If you didn't
Thank
hear
you.
the first time,
Yes, I said that and I
there it
meant
is.
it. First of all, we are divine beings having a human experience. I fully believe that. And I don't care what anyone else says or what anyone else thinks about it. That is something that I have come to resonate with at my core. I also believe we are created by and interconnected to a divine source. You call that source whatever you like: sacred, God, higher self, higher being, the creator source, and a host of other things that people identify with. Whatever your pleasure, go for it. Just know that it has been gifted to you. As a woman, you have been gifted with femininity, an undeniable essence wrought with fierceness, wrapped in intuitiveness, endowed with innate gifts, and drenched with lovingness. That, my dear sister, is goddess power. Say the words aloud: goddess power. Feel all they entail and insinuate. That is you, goddess. At the very core of self, that is who you are. Whether you accept it or believe it or not, that's your choice. It's all up to you. But it is who you are. So let's get into this discussion this morning about the names we call ourselves.
Mm.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start with the I as a kid, because I suffered with eczema, kids used to call me Rash Motel. I
Mm,
used to hate that. I'm just gonna just be up and honest with that.
Wow.
Yeah, you Rash Motel. Because my mom would get this very stinky ointment to help clear up the rash, and I would, unfortunately, I didn't know I was breaking out because of the stress of the teasing and
mm,
bullying. What ended up happening, I went from a Catholic school to a public school. My parents separated, so the money left with my dad, and I had to go to public school, and I didn't know how to fight. So one of my dear friends who were close friends today, she taught me how to fight because I used to swim fight, and she had
Mm.
brothers, so she's like, you gotta use your fists. And once we, we ran the school because we were the enforcers. We ended up, anybody that got bullied, we go beat up the bully. But they'd be like, "You Rash Motel." I'm like, "Hey, I'm gonna see you at 3 o'clock." So that's how that's how that would work. As I got as
Oh
I
my.
got older, the names got different. I one thing that I was very empowered by. You guys remember the show Living Single, and loved Queen Latifah. She had a song called "Unity,"
Mm-hmm.
and the way she starts off with is "Who you calling a bitch," and she goes right into it. And there's a whole episode on Living Single about that. And just kind of, I think what happened is that a lot of people started to use that word later on and said we're trying to empower it the same way it is with the N word, but there's nothing
Mm.
empowering about being called a female dog. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry. I've tried this, like, what's up, B? And it's like, no, it doesn't
don't
sound,
work.
I like goddess. I like girl. I like, these are other things that I like. So sometimes we take a tip or a nod and a wink from our culture and say, okay, well, let's start calling each other that. And then we have to be the ones that say, no, no,
Not so much. No.
not so much.
That's a no.
No, I
That's a
don't.
no.
That's a no.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, yeah, no Rash Motel. I didn't like that. So,
Mm-mm. No, kids
Yeah,
are mean.
right. And even though you learned to fight and would beat them up, that didn't take the sting away from
it
them calling you
didn't.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got two fighters here on our panel.
The
Wait, who's
boxer.
who's the second fighter? Who's the second fighter?
Not me.
Who's the other boxer? Speak up, boxer.
Now.
I didn't box in school. I wasn't boxing people though.
But you know how to throw a punch.
I know how to throw a punch though, so don't play with me. Don't.
Sounds like
Oh,
an
Tracy,
offensive to me.
you defended yourself in school too, Tracy?
No, no, no. I didn't. That's what I'm saying. I didn't
Like
box
I
until I
learned to
started
do it.
boxing.
I learned to box.
I do love
You
boxing.
like come
Boxing
for
is
me.
fun. I'm telling you, if you have not hit a punching bag, you are missing out on some things.
Oh, I
You
love it. You
have
get
to.
all of that
Ooh, ooh, ooh,
rage.
yes, you
Keep
just
this
Get it
up.
all out. You think about the ex. You think about
Oh,
the
you're
ex
visualizing
boss.
now. Okay.
and
And
if
then,
you're good at envisioning, you can put that face right there and just
yes,
bam.
yes. And you kick him in the, you kick
Ah,
him in
so
the.
healing.
It's very healing, Mountain Spirit. It
Yeah,
really is.
yeah.
It really is.
Get it
Then you
out.
have less.
You get to release in ways you never
Yes.
thought you could.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're breathing
Yeah.
easier and you're like, oh, that was so much lighter after, right?
Ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Mhm.
Done with
it.
it.
I
It
love.
probably enhances the quality of your life.
Oh, yes. I'm looking at boxing bags now while y'all playing. I am
You gonna get
seriously
some?
looking for a boxing bag that I
Get
can
one.
just stick in my corner and. I
Mm.
You
want
may
to
have
buy
to get
some
the standing
batteries.
one, the standing
The
thing.
standing one. That's what's gonna have to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Can I make them out of sand? Because that's
You
all
sure
I have
can.
here.
Oh, you absolutely. Hmm.
Yeah, you can walk to the beach where you is and go ahead and get the sand,
Bag
throw
up.
it in there, and
Hmm.
And just yeah, you can
Yeah.
really.
And you say just draw the face on it, huh? Or put a picture.
A
put a
picture, a
Yeah.
picture.
picture.
That's right.
Yeah.
Get
It
get
might
all
Yeah,
change
the
every day.
put the vision in your mind, and then you'll see it. Like, ooh,
Okay.
oh, which is great because I the funny thing is that the whole name calling thing, it was what it was that saying back in school, Tracy, sticks and stones
may
may
break
break
Oh,
my
my
bones,
bones.
but
I never
words
liked that thing.
so
Yeah.
That
stupid.
was horrible
Yeah,
because
I
I'm
can't
thinking
stand
no,
that thing.
names do hurt.
They do hurt.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm.
And sticks and stones may necessarily not break your bones, actually. They're both lies.
Mm.
Right.
Like all that
Let's
statement was lies.
so let that
All
go.
lies.
Let's let that go.
Yeah.
Let that go.
No, release it,
All
release
right.
it.
I want to give the uh Mount Spirit and Marie. What
Hey,
you thinking about this?
Mountain
The
spirit,
names. The
don't be
names.
calling on me.
I'm
No, I'm
calling
not.
on you.
I want to hear
You
what
call
I
out
want
on
to
Well,
people.
let me say this. Let me say this. I didn't really experience the whole name calling thing until later on,
Mm.
right? But you get that even like in your family, right? We can sometimes get that from people who it's like, I thought you loved me. Did you just call me
Yes.
a bitch? Did you just
Mm.
Mhm.
call me, anything other than my name or beautiful or goddess or any of those things? And that for me is where it stings even more.
Yeah.
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 No, those things they stay. They stay. I'm trying to think like what was the thing. But for us it's always the physical with people, right? So it's like all external. And particularly I think sometimes from other women or other girls, like they really know how to just get in your psyche and say that thing that they probably can sense is like one of the insecurities. And so
Hmm.
Mhm.
I think there are many. That's the thing. It's not like one. I think you could say, oh, that's one. But I think when I was younger, I was really skinny, like really skinny. And so the name would be like, do you eat? You look like, like a skeleton or a whale or one of those things where nothing would ever seems like it fit. Like everything just hangs on. But it wasn't a big deal because at that point, it's like we're developing. So there's nothing there. There's no curves. There's nothing,
Hmm.
at least for some of us. And so but for me, I think that's probably one of the reasons why you see it now, even Tracy. I told you recently. I will be wearing things that makes no sense. Like they're like extra, extra something. And you're like, what do you think you're covering? And so a lot of time it was more to appear whatever was supposed to be normal and not so thin. And
Yeah.
so then I would put on things to just like, okay, I put on some pounds, but you're like, it's just extra layers. But then that becomes your life too, where you're just putting on things just to kind of camouflage who you are
And
so
trying to
other
hide.
people don't say things. And so
Hmm.
it stays sometimes we're like, oh, I just love loose things. I just don't like things to just cling up on me. But it's like the more things fit, the more you show up as yourself, literally. And so now you're like, I don't want any attention. I don't want them to see nothing, say nothing about the thing. So I'm just going to cover. And it
Hmm.
continues sometimes when you don't even realize you're still doing it and the
Mhm.
source of that. And
Yeah.
so sometimes you just let it go because even now people still not now to me, but a lot of time, people at some point you yourself they can say it, but it's like I don't see what you're seeing, and just being used to kind of literally be water for lack of a better word, where it's like, and it's the thing that pissed people off. That's when I knew that I have let that go because my reaction doesn't match
It's
their
different.
meanness. So they
Yeah.
say the thing, and I'm like, oh, that is so cute. You think that's gonna do something right now, right? And so
Mhm.
when you don't react, this is the way you take your power. And it wasn't even consciously that, it was just like, I don't see what you're seeing. So then I don't have a reaction. Or you
Right.
don't cry, or you don't do the thing they think they're gonna do. So to them, what's the point of that? What's the fun of that? She doesn't even do anything or whatever it is. So that's the thing now, where it's like those people are looking for attention and
Right.
realizing they're projecting their own crazy and insecurity on me. And so now I'm like, I'm not going to entertain you. I have zero reaction for you. Or simply laugh. I think that is hilarious. Even in this day and age with adults,
Mhm.
the things people say, you just literally, if you laugh, you don't react the way they expect you to.
Mhm.
And don't forget, now we have social. So now they can go crazy
I
typing
know.
things. Okay, they
Yeah.
don't even have to say
It,
it to your
it gets
face,
crazy.
right?
Right.
You just type it out. I'm like, I'm not gonna engage with you. You're not even
Yeah.
worth my attention. And that's what they're looking for. That reaction is everything for a
Mhm.
bully. Everything. And if you
Yeah.
do that every time, and even if you acknowledge it, you think, let me address this. I'm like, I will not give you a platform to
No.
address your nonsense.
Mhm.
And so that, you know, that ends it for some people. But of course, you deal with that personally, you deal with it in the workplace. And we are the
Mhm.
queens or the goddesses, some of us, of the passive aggressive, where you say it and you
Ooh,
think, and that's why I love the title. What did I,
what you
did
call me?
you like, what?
What you
And
call
so
me?
you almost have to be aware, because sometimes it's almost like, I love that you said, I'm going to say it in French, because you're like, I heard what I heard in whatever language you said it, and it hit the same way. So sometimes people are like, and addressing it in that moment also throw them off, because
Yeah.
they think you're just going to be like, oh, I didn't hear it, and pretend and go away. But
Or
you're like,
ignore them, right?
when
Yeah.
you face them, they're like, say it to me again. What did you call me?
Mhm.
And they don't expect it from certain people, and that's might as well be a punch, because they think you're just going to run away, and now they hold the power every time. Now you're avoiding that person.
Yeah.
Every time you're going to run into them, it does. I can see that reaction.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's on your face, sometimes it's pain, sometimes in other things, and you limit yourself, because you're like, I'm not dealing with this, and your body reacts to that crazy. That's a hurt, right?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting how all of the target pain center is something in our physical appearance, and
Mhm.
something in our physical appearance that's obviously black. Well, at least in my case,
Mm.
and the biggest I got bullied, but my thing was to just desensitize and just pull away.
Mhm.
Um, but it still affects you because it develops aspects of your character that maybe you didn't plan on. Like I didn't plan on being an introvert through my teenage years, but that's what I had to be. And the things, mostly because I was questioning why they would do it. Like, why would you call me those things? I
Mm.
Mhm.
certainly didn't see it in me, but why is that what you see when you look at me? And I wanted to ask everybody who did it, because they all did it. I wanted to say, when you look at me, what do you see? But more out of a curiosity, like a real
Right.
deep seeking curiosity. It's like, what the hell is wrong with y'all? um, so what they would call me would be black.
Mhm.
And the biggest one that they would say with such force, as though they were throwing a boulder at me, was, you African. But remember, this was in the 60s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I couldn't understand, why is being African the worst that you can
The
you
worst that you can
think of?
think of. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
What is
Why
that?
is that
Whoa.
the worst you can think for me? Do you have any idea how fantastic it is to be African?
Hello.
I was proud. I was proud. And so the reason I was bullied like that was because of my hair. Because
Mm.
I never, it wasn't even my choice. It was just the way it was. We did not straighten our hair. Because when a woman does that before puberty, she has no way of communicating with the ancestors. Once you straighten your hair, once you take the curls out, you deactivate the electrical current that runs up the coil in your
Mm.
hair. So that coil is really important while you're completing your first developmental years. It's very, very important before you
Yeah.
get out of the forest, right?
Wow.
So you see, I lost my my place. I went on a tangent. I'm sorry. Let me
No
stop there.
worries. No worries.
No.
Um, but I'm glad you said that. It's like, why though? Asking the question, like, why? Why you call me that? Why is
Mhm.
that a bad thing?
Yeah,
'Cause I'm confused as a kid. Like, what? What
Yeah.
are you talking about?
yeah. But
Yeah.
it was that was the kind of, that was my very early realization of the self hate that's prevalent amongst us. That
Right.
you can look at me and see, who loves being black. I love being African, clearly, but somehow that upsets you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Fortunately, I have lived a lifetime in a period where I have seen the pride. come in. I've seen the even with the superficial observation of women returning to their natural hair. I think that's beautiful. I mean,
Yes.
everybody don't have to do it, but people are experimenting with it. People who would never do it. So Black women are um, falling in love with their hair. We're also falling
Ah,
in love with our largesse because that's more, that's back and sexy now.
Mm.
But for us, it always has been.
Right.
Right. So it's like, so all of these and our lips and our juicy lips. So this is a wonderful time to love ourselves, but to keep it, to do it in a way that we're never gonna
Hold
lose
on
it
to
because
it. Yeah. Ride,
I
ride
don't.
the wave of our own love.
Yeah,
Yes.
not
Mm-hmm.
right.
because it's in vogue, but because this is really worthy of being loved. So anyway, that was my opinionation about them calling me Black and African and acting like it was supposed to hurt me. But it really confused me. Really, really confused me. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
I
think it shows you what they're afraid of too.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That fear.
And
Yeah.
I
A lot of times it's their own insecurity and
Mm-hmm.
their own issues, things that they're dealing with. That doesn't excuse it though. That
no, it
doesn't
doesn't.
excuse it at
Right.
all.
Well, it's
Mm-mm.
it's still a barrier. It's a serious barrier to self-love.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not even a matter of opinion. I mean, it's just in the way.
Yeah.
You have to get to a place where you fall in
Yes.
love with everything that you are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think when we learn how to internally love ourselves, it comes out, and you don't cater to, or you don't say or take on with someone, how when someone demeans you. I know that I I love when people compliment and say, Val, we love, it's the voice. Like, we
Oh
that
yeah.
that's
You had a
something
love
about.
fest yesterday.
That was yesterday. I was getting all that love in the clubhouse. And at first I was thinking, why am I feeling so uncomfortable with that compliment? And then I heard, no, God is accepted. And then
Mm.
I saw Tracy in the background kind of going, yeah, 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 yeah. Just kind of cheering that on. Cause I'm like, that was criticized. My mom was saying, don't go into being a disc jockey. That's for
Mm.
men. You don't do that. And now I'm walking in that gift, and now getting confirmation from others to say, yes, Val, it's the voice.
That's
And
it
I'm
for
like,
me.
okay, I'm going to start calling myself that.
Yeah.
That's what I call
Yes.
myself. Right. So yeah. So positive things, embrace the positive, release the
Yeah.
negative. Like,
Hmm. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
remember telling people, repeat that in your head because that's the thing. You're gonna hear it 10 times, right? That room, every other person,
That's
every person
right.
was like, yep, you can read me the instruction on a manual. And I would
Right.
listen to that, all of it. And so the opposite, right? The negative, we hold on to, we bask in it, we dwell in it. We go and call somebody and be like, do you know what she called me? How many people
But
did
we
you
don't
call and
have
say yesterday? These people, they just keep giving me compliments. Did you do
to.
that? Did you call one person and say, oh my God, all these
Mhm.
people, they are amazing. They're calling me goddess and this and that. And then we play that in your mind throughout the day because that's the part we need to hold on to because we know that's true,
Yeah.
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
That's true.
yeah,
And affirm and reaffirm it.
Right.
right.
Right. And what I keep hearing in my head right now is life and death are in the power of the tongue,
Oh,
right?
that's
So what you
biblical.
speak,
Mm.
Yeah.
you have to be mindful of the words that you speak to yourself. Now,
Hmm.
excuse me, for it doesn't matter whether or not you believe in the Bible. That is a true statement. Like,
It is.
be mindful of the words you speak to yourself and others, but start with you first, and stop calling
Mhm.
yourself names. What you call me? Call
I don't know the song. The song
What
that's
you
coming to my mind.
say?
What was that? The Salt and Pepper? Tramp.
Yes.
What you
Trina.
call me? Tramp. Tramp. What
Oh,
you call me?
I was enlightened too. Someone shared one of those strange new age exercises with me
Okay.
because they had heard a share about the looking in the mirror and saying "I love
Ah.
you," and this one is to find that thought that where you don't like yourself, like find
Mhm.
something about yourself that you don't like use that negative propensity we have to remember for good. so that when this memory comes, or this idea of something about you that you really don't like about yourself, right at that point, forgive yourself for that,
Mm,
and
yeah.
make that a habit, and that totally alters the chemistry of our brain.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Yes.
rewriting this program. We're using the same loop that keeps
Yeah.
taking us to the negative aspect of ourselves, but we're using it to release it. In that loop,
Yes.
we just cut it loose. Say, I think it's okay. It happened. I did it. It's over. I'm okay. I'm here. I know better. Just like totally forgive yourself for it,
Mm-hmm,
to
mm-hmm.
make that a
Yeah.
habit. So just wanted to share
Yeah.
that. I
Wow.
like
Make forgiveness a habit.
Make it.
Make
I
it
love
a
that.
habit.
Make it, live it. Ooh, we have some new goddesses. I see
We
Banani is in the
do.
Mm.
house.
Hey,
What?
Benani. Ruby came
Banani.
in.
I see
Belinda.
Belinda.
I saw Belinda in the chat. Hey,
Oh,
goddesses. Welcome in. Welcome in.
Yeah, it
So
could replace some
we're
other habit.
what you say, Mount Spirit?
It said it could replace some other habit.
Hello,
mm,
right?
Oh, very much so. Yes.
many,
Yes.
Absolutely,
many
absolutely.
others.
Mm-hmm.
Many,
So
many.
today's conversation is what you call me? What you call me, right? We're not
Mm,
taking that anymore. We're not taking what you call
mm,
me, those negative, derogatory terms. We're not using anymore, and we're not going to use them towards ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're working towards. So we're asking the chat, what are some names that people called you when you were younger, when you were growing
mm,
up?
mm.
What were some of those things that stung? Hey, if it's
Yeah.
going on now, what are some of those names? Because we're putting them on the table, and we knocking
Yeah.
them out. We knocking them out.
Yeah. Because I definitely dethroned the Rash Motel thing from years and years ago. I
Yeah.
definitely got rid of that.
Let it
Mhm.
go.
Let that go.
Yep. This
I
is that
have
time to
beautiful
own
stuff.
it, to dethrone it. We owning it, right?
Hmm.
Mhm.
Release.
Telling me
Let
that
it
no
go.
more. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Done.
Yeah, and the one thing that I think with Mountain Spirit, the being called African in the 60s wasn't wasn't parts of Africa going through like literally
Yeah,
getting like their countries and what were like they were taking back their countries and like no,
right.
this is we're done. We're done
Yeah,
with the rule from England or the rule from some European
Mm-hmm.
country, and we're gonna
that's true.
come back like
Take our power back. Well, that's what I said. It's always when you
It's true.
how you react.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, don't forget that's a threat. That's something that they don't want to see. And I think it's the same with femininity. Like once you claim, we claim, and they can see it in you, that's a threat, even if you don't say anything.
Right.
Right. And so
Hmm.
you thinking like, what did I do? And that's why I don't ask them. I kind of channel Toni Morrison. I don't ask them that question about why you're
Mm-hmm.
saying this, particularly as an adult. Because I'm
Mhm.
like that person. I think Mountain Spirit says it a lot too, where it's like, why would I ask the mean person to tell me something about me? Or to think they're gonna do something differently? Or the
Right.
person who think
Right.
I'm ugly or I'm this. And when they think you full of yourself, right? At one point, we always gonna be too something. You too much. Like I'm too much.
Too
I'm
much.
too
Right.
quiet. And you don't say nothing. You too much. It's just that
Mm-hmm.
essence, that energy that they feel from you.
Yeah.
And once they
Yeah.
see that, now I'm channeling both Toni Morrison and Bell Hooks. They want to quash that. I just need. I don't. They want to eliminate that from you because you're too full of yourself now. So
Right.
even if those things are still there, but you've accepted yourself, you living your life, that's something that would set people on edge. For
Mm-hmm.
you to like, I'm happy with this, just the way it is. Some
Yeah.
people cannot deal with that. And you don't need anything from them, though, that's even
Thank
worse.
you, Val. Thank you for putting that. Thank you, Marie, for saying that. But Benani, I totally feel you on this. I was thinking the same thing when it came to,
Mm.
oh, you think you could be smart and beautiful. That does. I'm like, excuse me, what? I
Yep.
was made. I was born this way. What are you talking about? But
Yep.
she says genius. While it may seem positive, it did make me internalize getting good grades and doing well in school as something connected to my identity, which I'm still working through. Right? That's crazy.
I
That's
know.
crazy to have to, like, why do I have to work through my gift? That's my gift.
That's a gift, yes, to be smart and to get good grades. In fact, I used to brag about getting good grades, and so people would try to. Oh, my mother used to hate when people would call me crazy.
Mm.
I used to love that. I felt like a term of endearment. I was like, I don't want nobody calling my baby crazy. But my mom, from her generation, crazy meant you need to go to
A real
uh,
crazy.
An institution.
an
Yeah.
Right.
institution. So
Mhm.
she didn't want that identity, attached to me. And I was like, no, 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 mom. Crazy means I'm fun. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be having a good
Right.
time. And I had to
Mhm.
always reteach her
The word,
Yeah.
the
the
name,
meaning. What
the
does this
meaning,
mean?
right.
Or how
Mm-mm.
you redefining it, right? Because maybe that's what they meant, and to her, that's what she's hearing.
That's
But
what she
you
heard.
like, no, I'm not hearing that. I'm hearing something good, so I'm gonna be
Yeah.
that. So you take it on. It's different when you take it on. But I think again, for us in this day and age, and you can see that too. Like right now, I think it shouldn't even be on the brink. I think there's a fear that's happening culturally within the system in terms of fear of that unity that Queen Latifah talks about. Like if we truly united as women, as
Hmm.
people of color, and just all the people who oppress as a whole, there is a fear within the oppressor of when that happens because they know what they have done. They know the damage that they have done and continue to do. So imagine if we're truly that way, it would be tragic. And so because we're not that, we're working on ourselves, we're building our communities, we're building each other, our approach is very different from them. But at the same time, I still see people asking for permission from the person or the people or the system
From
that
their
caused the
oppressor.
pain and continue to maintain it. That has to stop
All of
Right.
that, all
because
of
it's
that
not
has to
happening.
stop. Yes.
But I think
Yeah.
we're going in the right direction, though. I like what I
Yeah.
see. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like what I see.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
And I'll put it back up. Trace, who
There you
said it? It
go.
was you,
Make
Mountain
forgiveness a
Spirit. Make
habit. You know,
Make
forgiveness
it
no,
a
a habit.
habit.
you know,
Make it a habit. Make
Yeah,
slaying a habit. Damn it. That's what we're doing. That's
that's
why we're
ooh,
here
that's how
each and
you
every
slay.
day.
What better weapon than forgiveness? A big old
slaying
forgiveness
is a
sword.
habit. Oh my
Mhm,
goodness. Hey,
mhm.
Crystal.
That's right. It's all in there. It's in there. Yeah, yeah.
You know,
All right, y'all.
I know. I just wanted to clear that up. Forgiveness don't mean being a doormat. Okay, don't mean you
Okay.
lay down
That's
and you
right.
take it.
That's
So
right.
don't get it twisted.
All right.
That's
So we're gonna
right.
head out.
Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. And with that,
Oh,
we are complete this morning, goddesses. Thank you so much for joining us for Me Moments in the Morning.
hey, Joyce.
We so enjoyed having you here today. And we look forward to seeing you over on the SLAYGROUND. So if you're coming over, come on over to Clubhouse and let's continue the conversation a little bit and get into our gratitude, intention, and affirmation of the day. Sending you all much love.